Hello, Chuck. My name is Sean Everett. I am the website analysis expert over at Zucore Marketing. Thank you so much for talking with Shanique. She sent your website over to me for analysis, and here is my first thought. And it's not, it's a little subjective, but you have a great website. You clearly spent some money on it. This is not a homegrown website. It should be bringing you money and customers. That's what its purpose is. Other than hanging out on the bottom of your business card, that's exactly what it should be doing. It should be bringing you money. But your site is underperforming, and I'm going to lead you through exactly why and how, and hopefully I can give you some pointers about how to make this site better, how to make it something that is actually making you money, because it is underperforming. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things as I analyze the site. I'm going to do it just live with you now. The first thing I do is I go and I put you guys into this paid tool that I have, Ahrefs. As you can see, there you are, Legacy Roofing Idaho. Now, you have all of these metrics that I can see, and this essentially tells me how your site is performing. Now, when I go to the next thing is the Google search for Boise, Idaho roofer, you will see that you are pretty high up here. You're like #1 in the list of roofers, and that is great news. That means that you are doing some things right, absolutely right. I need to explain a little bit about how Google works in order for you to understand what I'm talking about. Now, Google has an algorithm that determines the placement of everything, and the algorithm is looking for essentially 3 things. And it will determine where your placement is based upon those 3 things. Those 3 things are not whether or not you are have a good work ethic or whether you use good materials. No, that is not what the algorithm is looking for. It is looking for elements of a website. So it is not a really good measure for me anyway of how to find the best of the best, but it is a tool that people have to use because they're kind of the gorilla. There are other search sites out there, and how many people use them? Google leads most of the people that visit your site to your site. Now, the first things you're going to find in a Google search are these. These are the sponsored ones, meaning that they paid to be up here. Underneath that are what we have, what we call the map pack. These folks here have done something that the folks below have not done well enough or at all, and that is they have gone and filled out a Google business profile. Now, the Google business profile is like the Facebook profile. It just requires you to say things about your business, like when you started, what your hours are on a daily basis. There's some tick boxes, and they want you to prove that the website is actually yours. Now, this is a great place to be. You can be here and below, but and being in both places would be great. And both of these are determined by this area here and down here, which is where we call the organic searches. Both of those are determined by the Google algorithm. Now, you are already here, which is great. I don't know if you know how you got here, but I will show you, and then I will show you what you're up against. Now, I'm going to choose Mighty Dog Roofing here of Southwest Idaho, and I'm going to refer to them as your Google business competitor. Now, here is their site, and as you can see, they say that they are a Boise, Idaho roofer. And the truth is that I looked at them, and they are based in Omaha, Nebraska, I think. But they can say that they are a Boise, Idaho roofer because they can. And Google does not fact check. Google does, if you put it on there, it is true. That's what the Google algorithm, that's one of the problems with Google searches, as far as I'm concerned. But what we want to do is make your search more, make it so that you end up higher on the top. And there are ways of doing that, and I'm going to show you what those are. Now, first off, Google loves content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your website here, your home page, and I'm going to cut and paste it into this word counter. You have 1,564 words. That is excellent. Google wants you to have 1,500 words minimum in order to consider you a candidate for being in their search results. That is one of the reasons that you are up at the top. Now I'm going to do the same thing for Mighty Dog. They're probably not going to have as many as you. Let's see here. Nope, 882. So even though they're high in the business profiles, they have not beat you in this. But all words are also not the same in these. So even though you have 1,500 words, you could make those 1,500 words count more. Let me show you how. We're talking about keywords. You have 2,200 keywords in your website. Keywords are words that you would expect to be in a website. Whoever created your website did a really good job putting in all of the correct text. These are words that belong in your industry. These are words that the Google algorithm expects you to have because the other competitors that it sees when it does a search sees those words in their website. So it does a big collective collection of all those words, and then it determines which ones appear the most and second most and so on. Those become the keywords, and those are the words that you should have on your website. You have 2,200. Now I'm going to show you what Mighty Dog has. They have 22,200. So they're about 20,000 more than you have. And this might have to do with their many locations because obviously some of the keywords are going to have to do with, like a roofer near me in Boise, a roofer near me in, where are you actually? I know you're in a separate city, Nampa. By the way, I'm a Tacoma boy, so I'm, Pacific Northwest all the way. So yeah, a lot of these might be referring to places that they are located. And if you have more of those places, I mean, you do a really good job over here of actually showing what those other places are. And that is great. I mean, Eagle City, Homedale, Kuna, all of those. Those are really wonderful to have there. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is what their keywords are of these 22,000 that they have. Breakfast in Metairie. I don't even know why they have that. Bars in Lubbock. They are really pandering to customers in their blog about that these are bars and pubs in Lubbock, Texas. Why they would have that in their blog, I have no idea. But it's getting a good amount of hits. But this is a good time for me to show you something. People who Google this have a roofing company, and apparently they have one in Lubbock, come up in a web search. Now, I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm going to find the word best here. There it is. It's already in there. You have 7 instances of the word best. You have very best roofs. You have best of the best in Boise. Now, that is great. Because a lot of people don't have that they are the best in whatever city they're in. And you need to have that in there because if it's not, when somebody types that they want the best roofer in Boise, they're not going to come up. You guys have just blown me away just now. That is wonderful. That is what you should have in your site. There are other things like that that you need in your site in order to maintain it. Because here's the thing. You are #1 now, but if somebody else comes up with more of these other things, they could move into the top spot. It's not going to happen tomorrow because it takes about a month for this stuff to happen. But, it would be great if you were here and here. And apparently you are here somewhere, but you have not filled out the profile well enough. And the Google algorithm really prizes thoroughness. The next thing I'm going to show you is your backlinks. You have 169 backlinks. And backlinks are where you have a link on somebody else's page that refers back to your site. So like Yelp would be one. That would be where you have a backlink, if you have claimed that and you have your website on there. Now, you have 169 and Mighty Dog has 156,000. So, again, they win this foot race. But let me show you what their referring domains are. Some of these they have the PR Newswire. They did something like they were part of a charity event or something. And there's a lot of Google sites on here. But what's important here is that you want ones that are rated highly. You want them to be in the 70s to the 90s. Home Advisor, MapQuest, Angie's List. They're on Angie's, of course, which has a really good rating. I know it takes money to get on Angie's, but that's not a bad one to be on. Expertise.com, Yellow Pages, U.S. Chamber, which I assume is Chamber of Commerce, Yahoo, local.yahoo.com, this old house. Now, those are great ones to be on and ones that you should be on also. I don't know which ones you're on specifically yet, but those are ones that you can actually put on the site. You want to maintain ones that are in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, as I said. That will help you remain where you are. And this is all about, just beating the competition. It's really just a numbers game. If you have one more than they do, the algorithm will reward you with that. Now, here's where the difference is. I've showed you where you are, and that makes a huge difference. But what you're up against is people who say that they're from Boise and are not, and those are your competitors. Here's what it means. Last month, you had 503 clicks from a Google search, which is great. That has entirely to do with your placement on the top of the organic search results. Here's what Mighty Dog had. 9,400. Now, that's a fair number larger. And I understand that they have a wider range because they're dealing with a lot of different cities. And so you're doing great. I mean, you're really doing great, but you could have more. And I think that you could probably double yours if you got into the map pack, if you got up here into the business profile. So anyway, staying on top of things is what I'm trying to tell you is what you need to do. You have a great site, just a few tweaks to make it even better. Now, I would assume that you'd rather spend your time roofing than you do with, or being with your family, than you do with digging around in your website for stuff like this. And that being the case, I would hope that you'd give Shanique a call and she could help lead you through the next steps. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I've been helpful, and you have a great rest of your day.